think I was sitting outside under my tree and I'm just holding my water bottle. And I was replying to a comment. I'm like, you know what? Let's try this. And yeah, and since then it's become a thing where people just want to see me drink water. And at the end, I think I said spread the love, not the hate. I'm like, oh damn, okay. And then it just became a trend. And then I added peace onto it because, like, you know, spread the love, not the hate. We need peace in this world. And it's just becoming a massive trend for everybody. And it's good now though, man, because everywhere I go, that's the first thing somebody says to me. But do you guys think chicken parm, is it palmy or palmer? What do you guys think?
Oh, that's another controversy.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it, how do you pronounce it? Palmy or palmy?
Bro, like I remember, I think my third video on TikTok, I said palmy. And everybody just lost their shit. It's not palmy, it's palmer. Like, what?
Well, we may as well put in the comment section, do you think it's palmy or palmer?
But was there any credibility to their comments? Like, was there any good points made?
But there was some skeptical things going on. People saying the Victorians say palmer or something. And then people in East Side also say palmy. I'm like, I don't know. I've always heard palmy. I never said palmer.
Palmer doesn't flow off the tongue the same way either. Like palmer.
But isn't that the same as
Tomato.
potato? Tomato.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, but that's crazy, man. I think tomato. I don't know.
What a way to start this episode.
On today's episode, we have a guest who has over 500k followers on TikTok, famous for drinking water on camera and spreading love, not hate. Welcome to the show, Doc.
Love your work,
Appreciate
mate.
you guys, man.
Thanks for coming on.
No, I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you. Like, I think it's always good to come on and just get to know people and have a chat with people who want to get to, you know, kind of pick your mind. I think it's beautiful, man. I love these kind of things.
Where did your interest, like, I would love to know, Doc, where did your interest come from with this bottle of water? You know, these videos you created on TikTok. Where did it start?
It's crazy, man. I think it's weird. I think the first water bottle I drank, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was sitting outside under my tree and I'm just holding my water bottle. And I was replying to a comment. I'm like, you know what? Let's try this. And yeah, and since then it's become a thing where people just want to see me drink water. If I don't drink water on TikTok video, it's like, it's not right, you know. It's crazy. It's becoming a trend for sure.
So you'd say it'd be pretty controversial if you're drinking a glass of apple juice?
Yeah, it's okay. It didn't even start with water. I think it started with first. It went to water and then went to custard. I had custard for a few weeks.
Custard.
Yeah, man. I was drinking custard straight out of the box. And I think what I did, the custard video came from somebody thought that my tree in my backyard looks like weed, and somebody thought I was growing weed. I'm sitting there with custard and donuts. I didn't think about this, but it was an amazing fucking idea. So I'm speaking about it. I'm like, yo, this is not a weed tree. I'm trying to tell them, but then I'm like, oh, hold on, guys. I got to drink my custard and donuts. And you know when you're high, I've never been high, but when you're high, you just eat some weed shit.
Get the munchies, yeah.
Exactly. So people are thinking I'm high because I'm here drinking fucking custard out of the box and eating donuts. I'm like, I didn't even think about that. How did this even come together?
So is that why the first video popped? Is that why? Because
I think that's what it was, because people thought I was high. I made this video, but I didn't think about the idea until after I posted it. I'm like, oh shit. People think I actually have a weed tree in my backyard and they think I'm high eating all this weed shit. Like, what is this? And I think that's why it popped off. Because the comment section was like, hey guys, this guy's eating some weed shit. He's definitely high. It wasn't even
And Doc, where did because you've got this saying that you say at the end of your new videos of spread the love and not the hate. Where did this come from?
Again, I think that just came out of my mind. I didn't really think about it. I think my first ever TikTok video, I didn't even know TikTok existed, but I had no idea what TikTok was until about last year, end of July. So I'm sitting there like, you know what? Let me try this app. So I'm sitting there in my backyard. I'm talking about all this political stuff going on in Australia about, you know, the gang violence of South Sudanese. So I'm just telling everybody that not all of us are like that. And at the end, I think I said spread the love, not the hate. I'm like, oh, damn, okay. And then it just became a trend. And then I added peace onto it because, like, you know, spread the love, not the hate. We need peace in this world. And it's just becoming a massive trend for everybody. And it's good now, though, man, because everywhere I go, that's the first thing somebody says to me. Spread the love, not the hate, peace. And it's like smiling, you know? So I'm like, this is good. I like this. So that's what I like about it, man.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I was telling someone, a guy at work, that we've got you coming on. I showed you the your TikTok profile. And you go, oh, the water guy. so it's become a brand. At what point do you just go, all right, I've got to take on Voss Water here and start a water distillery?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Hey man, you know what? I'm still waiting for one of these water companies to hit me up. I think one of the kombucha marketing dudes hit me up, wanted me to do an ad for them. I didn't actually get to do it, but I'm waiting for a water company to hit me up.
Just go full Mount Franklin.
Yeah, I've definitely bought them some water, man. I've had a lot of Mount Franklin bottles in my lives and whatnot.
But would you even open your own? At what point would it make sense to start selling your own water?
Exactly, but see, like, there's a guy on TikTok, I think Patty. Have you guys heard it? He does Vertexes.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, Patty, he had his own bottle company. He's selling water for he's selling a water bottle for $34. I'm like, you guys must be out of your mind.
Wow.
Like $34 for a bottle. That's crazy.
Dog, being the water guru that you are, how do you price value water to be at $34 a bottle?
I don't know, man. With me, if I was to start a water company, I don't know, bro. But I was thinking he sold out too. He actually sold out.
Wow.
And that's the crazy part.
That's amazing. Like, just in what you said, selling out in water, that's like one of the greatest fears that there is on earth. Like running out of water. And this guy just did it.
Nah, but you actually just came up with a good point. If I was to start a water company, I would do it for good. I don't think I would do it for money making. I would do a trend where I would probably sell water, and then to make places that don't have water somehow, man. Like countries that need water, kind of. That's what I would do anyway. Like clean water around the whole world. I would do something like that for sure.
I fuck with that. Yeah, that's incredible. Like, just message to spread. It's more positivity. Where did this inspiration to spread positivity come from? You said in your first TikTok you were talking a little bit about political stuff, and then you said spread love, not hate. But where did it come from before that?
This goes way back, and I think it goes back to just being who I am and who I grew up with. You know, like as far as I remember, anyway, me growing up in my household. Let's talk about Kenya. Let's go 20 years back.
Let's go.
Let's rewrite this shit.
Yeah. I was 6 years old, man. As far as I can remember, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 before I came to Australia. So I lived in Kenya. And as far as I remember, my house was always packed. You know, we had me, my mom, my dad. I have 3 sisters, 1 brother, as far as. But then we had 3, 4 uncles. We had the house was packed. There was at least 15 people living in our house in Kenya.
Wow.
At all times, you know.
Adam's family.
Yeah, bro, own family. And I think seeing that, man, seeing all this, and the thing is, it was always laughing. Like my whole family would always be smiling, laughing. There was never any kind of hate. And we were struggling, no hate. We were fucking struggling. But I never saw the struggle because my parents and my uncles knew how to hide it so well with smiles, and he'd have some lollies. There'd always be something to smile and laugh about. And you know, these little things build up over time, you feel me?
That's good, man. Do you think, Doc, do you reckon that if you come from a less fortunate sort of background that you do value the smaller things versus someone who probably takes advantage of some of the gifts that they are to receive from others?
Yeah, definitely, man. I think it goes a long way. You know, if you go to a lesser country right now and you give out $1, you know, $1 may not seem as much to us, but you give out $1 and then you see somebody's face lights up and you see how much they appreciate and praise what you just did for them.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. And I think, you know, as far as to go, Australia is pretty privileged. You know, we live in a fucking privileged country. Black, white, I don't give a fuck what color you are. You are privileged in this country, man. You know, people like to talk about this because it gives us the choice to kind of do what we want. And that's the best thing. And the fact that people out here are still going crazy about little things, we lived in a fucking privileged country. And until you understand that, it's hard to kind of appreciate the things that you have in life, you know? I just wake up and I appreciate everything, you know? I'm alive. I have a fucking bed. I have a TV. I have a PS4 that I can play anytime I want.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Electricity. And we can drink water anytime we want. You feel me? Think about that, man.
I feel you.
But
it goes a long way.
It is, I guess, and I constantly try and remind myself to be grateful, but it is hard to constantly appreciate what we do have because the matter of the fact is, a lot of the stuff that we take for granted probably is never leaving our lives. Like we'll probably always have I came from a good family, so I'll always have a good family, but I'll always have a house to go home to. Like I'll always have a bed. I've never struggled for food. Like I'll always have food. It is a lot easier to take that for granted, but how do you like keep yourself grounded, or you just bring yourself back to Kenya?
The thing is, what happens to me, I guess,
mentally that is, and reminding myself.
Mentally, like when I was younger, like even though it didn't seem as bad for me, we were going through a fucking struggle, man. Like some days we would only drink tea and that's it, nothing else, you know. And I think being a young kid, you grow up quick. I was probably 6 years old thinking like a fucking 15-year-old, you feel me? Because it's so different, man. When I first came to Australia, my first day in school, you know, I'm like, well, I was 9 years old. I turn up. This was in June 2004, first day of school. I turn up. I'm looking at all these kids around me. I'm 9 years old. I'm like, what the fuck are these kids doing, you know? But that was my mindset. I'm like, yo. So I was here thinking like a grown adult, and these kids are crying over little foods that they don't have. I had kids come to me like, oh, my mom didn't give me this, and they just break down. I'm like, oh my God, what are you guys talking about? I would kill to have that right now, you feel me? And this is the mindset that we had, kids growing up, because we just grow up so fast, because we have so many responsibilities. You know, we don't choose, you know, we don't get to choose what we want to eat. We just eat what the hell is, what's on the menu, that's it. It could be tea, could be bread, and that's it. And I think that came a long way for me, because it taught me how to be humble. You know, like humble, taught us how to be humble for sure, man. And that's what it is.
And because you were in that situation, it sort of fast tracks your level of maturity.
Yeah.
So that way you were looking at things in a different sort of perspective.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. You have to go through something to then see what the world looks like. And I think if you've never been through anything, then it's hard for you to see it. But, you know, people are like, oh, that's not true, Doc. I'm like, you've never been through what I went through, so you can't really speak on that.
Yeah, exactly, man. And the same thing is like we all experience something in a different perspective. So it's about being respectful of the way maybe someone may react to a certain situation. Yeah,
for sure. Do you guys watch movies?
I actually don't.
Really? Oh yeah, he doesn't watch anything. I get around it. I prefer Netflix like TV series.
But go on, yeah, I want to hear this.
Have you guys heard of a movie called The Preacher?
The Preacher?
Yes. So
The Preacher, I think it was about some American guy who, like, he's been in and out of jail, drugs and everything. And one day he went to Uganda. This is actually a true story.
Wow.
And this dude literally changed his whole perspective of life when he went for a while. You know, he started doing like he actually did a lot in Africa, but he was like helping children. But he literally saw some crazy shit. Like child soldiers, kids getting burnt and thrown into graveyards, shit like that. This guy went to the States and his whole outlook in life changed. And he took his frustrations out on his little kids, you know, when they thought that they needed more than they had, and he would just go crazy. And watch the movie. It's interesting, man. You kind of see how people change when they see a different part of the world and they go back home to, oh, wow, this is crazy.
Right.
I think that comes back to what we spoke about earlier in that over-under segment about, like, travel.
Yeah,
sometimes and it's people say like you want to go traveling so you can find yourself. I don't know if that's the case or whatever, but like you also need to break out to see and change your perspective.
You see how the rest of the world lives.
Change your mindset. It's like it's like you don't want to listening to the same podcast or the same artist will just have you in this fairly fixed mindset, but travel is another way to broaden.
You're diversifying everything that you believe to be like, you know, the answer to everything. You know, like you said, you know, when in that movie, in The Preacher, when he went to Kenya to get that different world perspective of how things are to be done and the situation in itself, that's when it really opened up his mind to what reality actually is.
Yeah, that's definitely true, man. There's a lot that happens that we don't get to see, man. And I think everybody has a different life experience. But hey, each to their own, you know? Each to their own, man.
100%. I remember I went to Cambodia. This was, I think, in year 11 in school. Yeah. And we went to work at an orphanage for 10 days, an orphanage of kids whose parents had died from HIV. And and that I didn't appreciate it as much as I probably do now, just having that memory. But even still, just having the memory of the struggle that other people are going through, like in that orphanage, but also just seeing the markets and the village and everyone else's lives, it does change the way you think about things. It's like, oh, like these people are happy and they live with a lot less than we do. And
that's definitely true, man. I think because like the Western world, like you think about the best countries in the world, bro. The world, like we revolve around money, and you know, a lot of us, you know, we like money, things. But if you go to the lesser part of the world, it's like, whoa, it's not even about money anymore. It's about, can I get something to eat? You know, and it's a whole different mindset. It's I need this to live, and that's what's different.
Different sort of driving factor.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. But you know, in my, like right now, I'm not worried about what I want to eat. I'm just worried about making more money to live a better life than I have now, and that's a whole different story. You feel me?
Yeah. That's an easy way to like get not distracted but complacent. Like because I find myself in that, and I think most people do. It's very easy to fall down that rabbit hole. But how do you like constantly bring yourself back and go, okay, like money's good and you want to have enough money, but it's not everything.
Keeping level headed.
Yeah. I don't even know what it is.
It's hard, bro. Like living in a world where you know everything's at your disposal. It's hard to come back to earth because it's like if I have all these limitless opportunities, why not chase them? You feel me? It's almost selfish to yourself not to go out and chase it. And I think, but you get lost and you start doing some crazy things. But I think if you have an opportunity to go and live your best life, by all means, go and fucking do it, man. I don't even think about anything else. Just don't be a dickhead while doing it. That's all I ask you. That's it.
That's a fact,
brother.
yeah.
And Doc, what it was like, you know, when you had that cultural shift of moving from Kenya into Australia. I did recall, you know, you mentioned to me in the past about when you had your first few days at school. You coming from a culture where you didn't really know what racism was.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
See, a lot people don't get this. You know, me growing up in Kenya, right? Even just let's talk about the African continent. Yeah. We don't really identify ourselves as black or white. It's like, what country are you from? Oh, I'm from South Sudan. I'm Ethiopian. We don't really speak colors much. It's not until I came to Australia I started hearing black and white. I'm like, whoa, what is this black and white business? You know, because we just identify ourselves with where we're from, and that's pretty much how it is. But it's interesting, man. You know, I've never been in anything like that in my whole entire life, and I think, to be honest, like I was telling Jaden, I don't think I knew what racism was until I was in about year 8, to be honest. Like I'd heard the word, but I'm like, what the fuck is racism? Like, what are they talking about? Until I kind of did my research, I'm like, so racism was when you discriminate somebody else because of this. And it's funny, man. I don't know what it is, but like, it's a crazy system out here, bro. But like going back home, I even speak to some Africans right now who are back home. And like literally the other day I was live with this dude, he was in Gambia, and he asked me the question, is like, Doc, what is it like to experience racism? I was like, bro, where do you live? He's like, Gambia. I'm like, shit. Like, you don't experience racism, hey, because you're around. It's crazy, bro.
They don't even know what it is. Yeah, crazy.
Exactly. It's crazy that only people who go abroad are the ones who experience racism. Not the whole world experiences, you know? It's crazy, man.
Like, where do you think this comes from? Because I sit back and ask the question of why does it matter if someone's black or white? Like, you know, if they're born in Australia, they're Australian. It doesn't come down to if they're black. It doesn't. The color isn't even
looks are irrelevant.
Looks and color is irrelevant.
Yeah, definitely, man. I don't know. Like, I wish I could go back in history and find the first person that thought, you know what, my skin color is this, I'm better than other person. Like, I want to know who the hell started this whole trend. But it's crazy, man. I think it comes down to fear. You know, I think whatever, like social media, the media, I think racism comes from fear. And I think fear is what drives us to do stupid things, you know? A lot of us, we just like to judge on fear. Like if I'm walking down the street right now, in a dark alley, and I see a white person, whatever it is, you know, instantly they shake up and like, oh shit, what's happening? Like fear kills them, man. I think, I don't know how we're going to end this thing, man, but I think fear is where all these stupid things come from. People are scared to kind of take a leap of faith and just get to know somebody who's from a different race or a different color background and just say, hey, are you actually all right? Hey, I'm not going to listen to the fucking media. I'm not going to listen to fucking social media. That's what it is. We're so scared to go out there and just do our own research and kind of just take in what people have to give back. And that's what I think it comes from. It's just a lot of fear out there, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, in terms of just taking in from social media, like, TikTok has been... I feel like every platform for social media has progressively gotten worse. And TikTok's obviously the biggest probably right now. But, like, TikTok's comments are fucked. Like how do you navigate that? Like, it's insane. Bro. Like, TikTok and Twitch are the two probably worst ones right now.
Yeah, now TikTok is the worst fucking social media website ever.
Fucked, yeah.
Because it's so easy to just do things on TikTok, you know? It's so easy. And I think, like, every now and then I just scroll through TikTok and I just see things, man. I'm just like, whoa, what the fuck did I just read? I'm just like, that's crazy. And I think what happens, man, a lot of people are getting consumed by the hate of what happened. You know, like, great stories. I saw this lady on TikTok. She might have been Australian, you know? She came on TikTok and people were just going at her constantly because of her physical appearance. She's a maybe middle-aged white female. And one day I saw a video, she broke down on TikTok. And I'm thinking, like, you chose to come on this platform and you're letting it consume you to the point where you want to break down in front of everybody. That's not right. And I tell people this, like, if you put yourself out there, you are gonna get criticism, hate, all kinds of fucked up shit that you don't want to hear, you know? And I think you owe it to yourself to kind of get yourself mentally prepared to actually catch this shit. This is what I do. I know for a fact, if one of my videos blows up, I know there's always going to be dickhead comments, always. Like, regardless of what you do, man, always going to be there. And I just laugh at myself thinking, like, why do you guys consume yourself with hate when you know it's going to happen to you? Like, you fucking know it's going to happen. You know it. So don't let it get to you, man.
So you think, man, you think you go with the idea of go in with the mindset of not everyone's going to agree what you have to fucking put out there. And that no matter what, there's always going to be fucking negative comments. But if you go in with that mindset, why fucking let it get the better of you?
That's what I'm saying. People think they're going to come on social media and it's all going to be happy days. Nah, it's not like that. Like, social media is a cruel world. You know, you're putting yourself out there. There's 7 billion people in this world. You're putting yourself out there, man. You know, different countries, different ethnicities, different cultures. Of course somebody's going to attack you. But I think a lot of us just like, I don't like the idea of people. Like, I hate when people go out there, put themselves out there, and then come out and think like, you know, the world owes them something. I'm like, the world doesn't owe you shit. Yeah. I'm thinking like, to be honest, like, but I do tell people this. I'm like, if you put yourself on social media, just go out with the mental state of mind that you are going to cop shit. Don't go out there thinking it's all going to be flowers and roses. Nah. This is how I approach life now. Like,
life isn't going to be a smooth sail. There's going to be some bumpy roads and hurdles along the way.
But
yeah,
also,
definitely.
like, in going on to social media though, there is like peer pressure into jumping on. Like, I joined Facebook because all my friends at school had Facebook, so I wasn't not going to jump onto Facebook. Same with Instagram. So like,
social pressure. Yeah.
Sometimes you're forced onto the platform, and then you post something here and there, and you just open up the ability for anyone to critique, give judgment, or pass an opinion on what you've just put out. And that's scary.
Yeah. It is scary, man. You know, I think that's why Instagram and Facebook they took their likes off for a while, but then they put it back on.
They've done that
but
recently,
then it like, you know, even I didn't know this. You know, when I first went on TikTok, you know, my first video was I had a lot of love. You know, I think I had like 25,000 views. People saying, good job. And then all of a sudden, it's like, mate, go back to your fucking country, yeah? I was like, whoa, what is this? You know, I wasn't prepared. I was like, shit. You know, people are like, oh, you belong to this, you belong to that. I'm like, so this is what happens when you blow up. And I was like, yeah, this is crazy. But then I kind of just, you know, after that, I thought about it for about a day. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be the person that goes out there and just chucks a fucking tantrum all that. Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm going to be this person where, if you hate me, it's okay. You know, do what you got to do, but just know that you're not going to get to me in any fucking way. Like, I'm going to have fun with what you tell me. I'm going to laugh at it, but it's not going to get to me, man. You know, like, people like to ask me, Doc, are you faking this shit or does it actually get to you? This is the question. This is like the $1 million question, man. And to be honest, guys, like, this shit actually doesn't get to me. Like,
why?
it's weird, but I've built such a mental state of mind that I'm like, man, this shit funny, bro. Like, it is what it is, man. Let's move on to life. It's weird, bro. Like, I just laugh this shit.
How do you take it as a joke?
Yeah.
How do you take it as a joke? Because like sometimes they'll come at you.
Yeah.
Like their personal.
Yeah. How do you not take those
critiques.
personal attacks to
How do
actually
you
let
break
it get
that
to
down?
it? Yeah.
I believe this. I believe once you see, the thing is, a lot of people get pissed off because they get their physical appearance gets attacked, their families or whatnot. But I believe if you learn how to accept who you are as a person, you know, people talk about body positivity, you know, racism, whatever you want to talk about. But I think once you start to really know who you are and you accept yourself whole fucking heartedly, I think no one, regardless of what they say, like if somebody comes to me and they call me black, like why the fuck should I get mad when I love who I am? And, you know, like I love being black. It is what it is. I'm black. I cool, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you for commenting on my color. What the fuck is that going to do to you? Like, what are you getting from it? Nothing. But once you start to feed that anger inside you and you take it out and you make it, you know, you give back some bullshit. It's funny because that's what people are looking for. And once you start reacting like that on social media, now you get more haters and you get more people just talking shit about how you're crying and breaking down. Then it gets worse and so on and so on. But I think what happened with me is I love myself, man. Like I love myself to the point where it's almost fucking selfish.
That's good, man. That's where you want to be. It's interesting. It's interesting you say that, Doc, because I've watched a lot of videos. You know, those prank videos where people are walking in the hood and they might say something quite inappropriate to a dark fellow or woman.
Yeah.
What you think the reason why they may react bad in response is because they're not wholeheartedly happy with themselves? But
it goes back to that, but then it also comes down to psychologically, this is how we've been fucking built, man. You know, you look around from the time we grow up, social media, the media, everywhere you go, it's pretty much black plus white. You go on TikTok right now, and the first thing you see is you might see somebody talking about white people talking about black people. You know, everything is put into different freaking colors. And I think this, like me growing up, like after I kind of figured out what racism was, you know, I started thinking like, shit, like I've had white friends who their moms and dads teach them not to talk to black people because we know apparently we're criminals.
That's fucked, man.
I'm like, so this, like, see, this is the world we live in. And sometimes I feel like it's sad, bro, but I think we just hate ourselves for no reason. You know, I may be walking down the street and Jaden's across the road and I'm looking at Jaden. Jaden looks at me. All of a sudden, I think he's being racist because he's looking at me funny, you know? But all I know, Jaden could just be looking at me because he's like, all right, good day, man. Like, but he just doesn't say anything.
There's so many different...
This is the fucking world we live in.
That's the thing, man. You can interpret it that so many different ways. Like, say, for example, I was to walk across the crossing and I look at a girl that's quite attractive. I look at her the wrong way and then she takes it the wrong way.
But this is the world we fucking live in, bro. But those pranks in America, like those pranks happen in America. And I think, yeah, that's sad, man. But I think people don't know how to take jokes anymore. Like there's jokes, but then there's seriousness. Like you know what's serious and you know what is a joke these days. If you can't put two and two together, then
got to find that fine line.
And it's the intent behind it. Like, is there comedic intent behind something? Even though you might not find it funny, like, is the intent, like, to make people laugh?
Maybe to get a response?
So that's what it is. Yeah, for sure. But then again, you got to understand that not everybody likes to take shit, regardless if it's a joke or not.
Yeah.
Like, if you know somebody doesn't like to take shit, then don't say anything to them.
Yeah. I was wondering though, Doc, because like a lot of people last year were talking about TikTok having a race problem, and they talked about like this white girl image on TikTok.
Oh yeah, because I was looking a bit into that. Hey, you know, like sometimes I think that came down. I don't know what it is, but I think the algorithm is kind of messed up. But there was a period where like, you know, people would speak out on like, let's talk about the BLM movement. That shit would like get suppressed. But I can't speak out on that because I've never experienced any kind of racism from TikTok at all. I don't think I have, and so it's hard for me to say that TikTok is racist or whatnot. But if people have experienced that kind of thing, then it's they have a valid argument with themselves, I guess, and with everybody else. But it's hard to speak out if you haven't experienced it. So I'm not gonna say TikTok is racist because I have no fucking idea. I can't say it.
You've got to. I guess you've got to experience it yourself to be able to answer that question, Doc.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I think that's what it comes down to. If you've seen it, okay, that's cool. But you have to experience it as well to kind of know what you're talking about. because I have not experienced anything like that.
I was going to say as well, Doc, this is a little bit off topic, but I was looking at some of the videos you do, just seeing all your basketball skills, and I stumbled across a YouTube highlights video of you back in the day playing a bit of b-ball.
Oh yeah,
I know how much b-ball means to you, and you were trying to move up the ranks at one stage.
Yeah.
Is there any truth to the idea of potentially getting back to that level again?
I'm turning 27 next month. I'm still young. I'm thinking about playing next year, man. I may go overseas depending on where I go, but I'm thinking about going back home for a little bit. Like, I want to develop basketball back home as well. And basketball in Africa is booming right now. So I may go back home next year to play, to be honest. I'm just looking around for now, but I'll see because I'm thinking to go home maybe February, maybe December, between December and February, if I can get out. Then yeah, why not, man? I love basketball. Basketball has taught me so many things. And I think people it's taught me so many fucking things, man. And I have to play before, I still got at least 10 more years in me before I break down.
Let's go.
But yeah, definitely. I'm going to get back to it. Definitely. You guys will see me. You guys will see me play one day.
We'll be there.
Lakers or Nets this year?
I'm a Laker fan, bro.
Oh,
I hope the Lakers
Does Westbrook
win.
do it? Does Westbrook do it?
It's so interesting how he's going to play with LeBron. I'm still waiting for it. But I feel like Westbrook is going to come out and have one of his best fucking seasons of all time.
Wow.
Just because he's playing with LeBron.
Wow. You reckon they'll work well together?
Yeah, I think so. Because LeBron gets the best out of people, man. I think Westbrook's going to come out and do the best. He's going to play the best he's ever played, I think.
That's facts. And what about Brooklyn? Because they've just added Patty Mills to the equation now too.
He's pretty good,
bro.
man.
Brooklyn is tough. If both teams stay healthy, it's going to be LA, Brooklyn.
Oh, for sure.
But I think LA wins in 7. I'm calling it right now. LA wins in 7 games.
Wow. What gives them that 7th game? Is it experience, like LeBron's experience? What gives them the edge?
I think it comes back down to I feel like Brooklyn would be too small of a team. We have AD, we have Howard, we have the bigger boys in there. But it also comes back down to having LeBron fucking James. We have LeBron, they don't.
That's fair.
The fucking GOAT, mate, at the moment in the NBA, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. He's the best, I think.
I'm going to ask, Doc, because you know so much about the NBA, is when do you think the LeBron will hang the boots up? He's going late 30s now. Do you think he'll just keep playing until he just has a shit season? LeBron wants to break the all-time scoring record, even though he doesn't want to fucking say it. He wants to break that. I think he's got somewhere around 4,000 points to go before he breaks the all-time scoring record of all time. But then again, there was speculation that he wanted to play with his son, and his son's going to be. So how old is his son, man?
He might be 16 now, so he's got at least 3-4 more years before he comes to the NBA. So LeBron wants to play with his son, apparently.
Do you reckon Bronny's gonna go to college though, or will he just go pro? Like I don't know anything about his ability.
Yeah, that's a good question, eh? Like right now, Bronny's good, but I think he's overrated right now. He's overhyped because it's LeBron's son. But I think he's gonna go to college. Hopefully, he makes the fucking NBA. Hopefully, he doesn't become some kind of some crazy whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think he's gonna go to college for sure. I don't know which college he's gonna go to, but I think he's gonna go to college.
That'll be big for whichever college that is. Like
but
Drake's. There's videos that go around on Instagram of Drake going to watch Bronny's games. Apparently, Drake went out with one of Bronny's teammates' mothers. I think he hired out LA Dodger Stadium for the date.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did you hear about it?
Let's go.
It's like a month ago.
Yeah, he did. I heard of that.
That's
crazy, man.
Like, what are we doing? Like, how much effort are we putting in? Like, he's hiring out a stadium.
I think good first date's just going to. I reckon good first date's just going to KFC and getting the all-time bucket, man.
Bro, I could have $1 billion. I'm not hiring out the whole LA Dodger Stadium, man. That's just no. It's just that's not cool, bro. You and your whole it's just so boring doing that. Imagine sitting in a stadium with just empty everything. That's not cool. I gotta be outside. I gotta feel safe, man.
I'll be honest though. I can't imagine what it'd be like. I don't know what it'd be like in there.
I wouldn't mind experiencing just to know whether or not I hate it.
Yeah.
What's your ideal date then?
bro, I'm the type of guy. I'm like
You single or you got a girl?
I'm single right now.
I'll go in the comment section if you're interested in Doc. Let's go.
Listen,
Doc, we can do a bit of, we can sort something out for you.
You know when it's summer and you got that breeze at like 6 p.m. You got the wind. That's when I like to go at. I like to go on like beach walks when it's like wind blowing, but it's not cold. It's like warm wind. That's my kind of date, man. I'm not really like her. I'm a simple dude, man. I'm simple.
Slow down, so I can just write all this information down in your Tinder profile, Doc. I'll just give me a sec. We'll be up soon.
No, I'm about to tell you guys something. Actually, this is what we're gonna be in my latest video. I have this new trend. I went to KFC, right? And you know how you have to pay and then you have to pick up.
Yeah.
So, because you know, so many people are scared to comment on what I look like. So I went to KFC and I went to the pay station. I'm like, hey man, I had a black shirt. I'm like, hey man, can you please? I'm like, this is $1 million question. I got something to ask you. He's like, what? What do you have? I'm like, which is blacker, my shirt or me?
He's probably too afraid to respond, man.
Yeah, but people blank out. But unfortunately,
that's crazy.
The first person actually got it right. He didn't hesitate. But the second person, I was like, yo, what do you think is black? And he looked at me and he's like, oh, you look the same. Bro, I started laughing.
That's awesome, Doc.
Man.
I love it.
No, It's pretty funny though, man.
So you're a creative person. Like, how are you coming up with these TikTok ideas? You're able to identify trends, like.
I think I just like to be authentic. But the thing is, I haven't really like sat down and thought about things to do. Like I haven't done that. My whole fucking content is literally just comments. And I think I haven't kind of maximized what I could do with my page and what people think I am. But I think I'm gonna start doing that where I just have fun. Like, you know, I'm about to switch it up a little bit to try and kind of maximize what I can do, because some days I would go like 2 weeks without posting, bro, because I'm like, you know what, I don't want to reply to comments today. But like,
wow.
I can be pretty creative. So we'll see what happens in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Do you think, man, that sometimes you need that 2 week break? You know, because obviously, like, consistency is key to like build a bit of exposure. But like, if you just know that, like, fuck, this video is gonna be a shit house, I just need to take that break.
Yeah, you definitely need it, man. You know, like you definitely need it. Sometimes it just gets crazy, but you're like, whoa, you know, you can't be on a burnout. Like I have a few friends who have a few friends who have millions of followers on TikTok, and they get tired too, bro. Like, cause it's crazy. I don't know how people go out there, make all this content and post 3-4 times a day minimum.
Nice.
That's tough for me, bro.
Yeah. I'm at like. What about those like Casey Neistat, Logan Paul, when they were daily vlogging? Like they're making a movie each day.
That's fucked. How do you even have time for yourself?
They don't. Like they've got no time for themselves. Like that's what I think brought around like the term creative burnout, which is what like Doc's talking about. Like, yeah, because you just end up spinning your wheels, and it's like Logan Paul spoke about it. He goes like it's the most unhealthy thing he did, and he refers to when he didn't get cancelled, but in Suicide Forest in Tokyo, he goes like, that's actually a blessing in disguise because it stopped me from daily vlogging, because he goes like, I was probably going to die in a car crash at that point. Like my life was like, I was close to death.
Give him time
like,
to recharge again.
Like he just wasn't human anymore.
Fuck.
Yeah, because I heard that one video blew him up, like mega blew him up, hey.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, because I talk to people, you know, there's people that spends hours and hours on trying to make TikTok content and they don't blow up. I'm like, yo, you gotta change something out for a second, man. But it's sad, you know, it's sad how one person can just go out there and video something and just become mega fucking famous for no reason at all. And then you got people who try and they don't get anything that happens. It's a crazy world, bro. It's a sad world. That's just how it is. Like you talk about Cabby Lane.
Oh my!
The guy who just does this.
It's like just the simplistic things that can like gain viewership over someone who's actually thought about the idea of what he's putting into the video.
Bro, that guy went from nobody to, I think he's got like 20 million followers on TikTok. He's got 100 and something million, 20 million on Instagram, 100 and something million on TikTok now.
Fuck.
Yeah. But like with that though, like it's fantastic because how can you get creative burnout? Because it's not even your content. Like you're just stitching someone else's. It's the perfect situation.
That's actually a good point.
It's so scalable.
And I think his net worth is now $2 million or some shit. He's worth a lot of money now.
Good on him.
Fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, get the bag.
But hey, each to their own. It worked for him, you know. You never know. Your day will come, bro. Your day will come for sure.
Exactly. And when you are like posting it, are you at the point where you're going to start looking at brand deals? Like, is TikTok something that you're going to try and take full time or part time?
Yeah,
outside of lockdown.
Yeah, the more I keep thinking about it, man. Like, if I ever grow a huge platform, I'm using my platform to change the fucking world. I think a lot of people go into the point where, like, right now it's a trend to just, to look good, to have cars. Like, it's good to have that, but like, I don't want to have those things and then have no meaning to it. You feel me? And I think when I die one day, man, I want people to say, you know what, Doc was a fucking great guy. He tried to change some stuff. But you know what, like, that's what I'm looking at anyway. Like, if I'm gonna use my platform to do good things. Like right now, I'm starting a clothing brand. I'm gonna use "Spread the Love, Not the Hate" as a little slogan, and I'm gonna kind of use those things to just kind of go around the world and maybe try to change a few things. Like I want to go to remote communities and just have fun with it, and just kind of tell people that you know what, everybody's a fucking human being, and I just want to provide things for people who don't have anything, and that's what makes me happy. Like when I see somebody go from here to here, I'm like, yo, that's cool. I like that. And I've realized that's what makes me happy. Like, I don't give a fuck about anything else, but just keeping me happy and helping other people be happy. And that's it, period.
You're a living legend, Doc. I think the one thing I really, really admire about you is just how level-headed you are. You've created these viral videos not knowing that they were to go to viral. And you've built such a big. You
sort of know now, you gotta give credit where credit's due.
You know now. Yeah. You know what to touch base on. But at that point in time, you went from 2 or 3 followers to 500K followers. But within yourself, you haven't changed. So
that's true.
And what you're wanting to do and your driving factor is just like an amazing thing, man. So just tops to you, brother.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I think a lot of people. I get a lot of questions. Are you famous? Are you this? I'm like, I don't even talk about TikTok unless somebody mentions it to me. I'm like I have people bragging, man. I'm like, bro, don't even talk. I won't talk about TikTok, man. Let's talk about something else, But the best thing about me is, like I'm walking with one of my friends. He's got like 2 million followers. And I'm walking down the streets in Sydney City and people notice me. I'm like, how is this possible? And he's like, Doc, you don't understand. You're probably one of the most notable people out there, regardless of how many followers you have, people will notice you before they notice me. I'm like,
that's crazy.
What makes me happy is when somebody does notice me it's a constant smile on their face. Oh shit, spread the love, not the hate guy, the water guy, the burger guy. Wow. That's what I like. I don't want to be viewed as the bad person. I like putting smiles on people's faces. So the fact that when people actually see me, the first thing they do is smile and laugh, that is my kind of world, bro. And that's what I like, to be honest. Even if they're laughing because I'm being stupid. Because people laugh because of the comments I reply to. And I think that's the world I want to live in.
Your message in itself is just so infectious, Doc.
I appreciate you guys.
It's easy to build a relationship with because, people call themselves influencers, but like so many of them just don't have any influence. But then, like people like yourself who are actually spreading a message, like that's influence. Like you're spreading like whatever message it is or could be or whoever else is spreading. Like when you're actually like creating some good, like that's influence. It's not, and not dissing the bikini pics, but like just get the bag, like good for you. But like, where's your influence at? But
the same thing as well as and the same thing as well, Jock. You're practicing what you're preaching. You're not just saying one thing and doing the opposite.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense.
So the clothing line's next. Is that what you're currently working on?
Yeah, so I'm doing that right now. Like I'm gonna send you guys shirts. This first and foremost.
Let's go.
Yeah. So after this, send me your. I'm doing black and white. Send me both of your colors. I'm doing black and white and just silent. I'll actually send them to you. You guys were going to be my shirts are coming, I think, next week. So you guys will be the first to get it. One of the first people to get it. So I'll send you guys some. But yeah, so I'm doing that because like I made this shirt. It says "Spread the love, not the hate." And I was walking around Sydney City, and I was just I was testing it to see how people react to it. And it was cool because people look at it like, "Oh, that's cool," you know. Because what I've done now is I've made love and hate in big capital letters on the shirt. So those are the words that you see most. But the first word you see is love, and the second word you see is hate. But people usually see like, "Oh, that's cool," and then I think it spreads positivity when you don't even want to. You just walk around with it and people think, "Oh, I like that shirt. Where'd you get it from?" "Oh, I made it. Thank you." But it's pretty cool, man. I tested it and it worked. I'm like, "Yep, awesome. This is what we're gonna go with."
That's awesome, bro.
So you're a businessman too, like you're doing like product testing. You're testing the market too. Is this planned or is this just like?
It actually wasn't planned. Hey,
I love studying like business psychology, business strategy. So I'm hearing this. I'm like, this is what this is. This is genius.
Bro, the thing is, I did sales for a little bit. I think I kind of picked up on some things, but this wasn't planned. Like one day I walked out, I just wore the shirt and I was walking around, and this old guy comes to me and he's like, "Where'd you get your shirt from?" I'm like, I just said it's a friend's. I didn't even say it was mine. I'm like, "Oh, it's just a friend's shirt, this man." "Oh, really cool." She's like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just," but she got captivated by the words that were on the shirt. But then she came back to me. She's like, you know what the most interesting thing is? The shirt spreads a message. And she said, but your positivity and your how do you say your aura
your energy
also spreads positivity. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, that's cool. But see, only the people if you wear this shirt, it means you probably have the same energy as like, and that's what's amazing. You kind of pick out who has that kind of energy, man. And that's beautiful in itself.
You're building a beautiful community.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah,
it's like building like a safe environment for people to feel inclusive in that sort of area.
Yeah,
Doc, I could actually see you doing a TED talk. I think you would be so good on that.
Yeah, man. You know how many people have told me that? Nah,
have you thought about it?
I just enjoy being myself, man. I think I don't really think about things before I do them, and I think I live life just as, you know what. Let's just wake up today. The only thing that I may have planned is work, and that's pretty much it. Everything else will just come as I go. And that's it, man. And I think, yeah, life is beautiful like that, you know? But TED Talk, interesting. You know, I think I've had a lot of people talking about that, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Like if I was to start a TED Talk, I would have to do it with people who can chat just like me. I would have to do it with people who can talk just like me, man.
Wow. Well, I mean, we'll end it there because, Doc, it's been amazing chatting to you. Thanks so much for coming on to the show. You're spreading an awesome message. Spread the love, not the hate. Where can people follow you, find you, and sip water with you?
You guys know, my TikTok is Doc, Mamer, Mamer. Same on my Instagram, you find me. But you guys will see me. But if you want to follow me, TikTok is where to go, man. Come enjoy my TikToks with everybody else.